Hello to everyone who's watching this today. This is our first Coastal Magic Convention for 2025 Q&A with one of our featured authors. And today I get the pleasure of chatting with Mona Shroff, who has been with us before and will be back with us for 2025 in Daytona in February. And I'm very happy about that. So yay!
I'm excited
Um,
too.
I think everybody will enjoy our chat today and getting to know Mona a little better. To start off, this is the bio that we have for her. Mona has always been obsessed with everything romantic. She's not writing, she's making melt in your mouth chocolate truffles or riding her bike or doing her favorite thing, reading. Alone time is precious, but Mona is just as likely to be raising a glass of wine, her favorite glass of wine, or her favorite gin and tonic with friends and family. Mona lives in Maryland with her romance loving husband, rescue dog Nala. So that sounds like you have the best of both worlds. You have lovely me time and lovely friend time, and also the husband and the puppy. So all of that sounds fantastic. Is there anything you would like to expand upon?
My daughter got married last year, which
Nice. I saw the pictures. It was amazing.
yeah. And that's it. My daughter's married and she's working, and my son is working. And so we've checked those boxes, educated them, gotten jobs. They're good. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. You've done all the mom things.
Done all the mom things. I mean, it's
Fantastic.
still doing mom things, but it's not quite the same. Like they're
Hmm.
good. Yeah. Hmm.
Very nice. Very nice. So now it's more me things and
Sure.
us things.
Yes.
That's fun. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so for those of you who may not have seen these Q&As in previous years, what we're going to do is have a chat that's split into some parts based on things that I do on my blog. We have a lot of fun with it on the book blog, so I thought bringing it into a chat atmosphere would be a lot of fun as well, and it seems to have worked so far. So we're going to split this into part one, Words and Music Monday, because basically we're going through the week. So Words and Music Monday, we'll talk about playlists and theme songs and whatnot. Then we'll go to 10 Thing Tuesday. So Mona has a list of 10 things about something that she will share with us. Worldwide Wednesday are some things online that are attracting Mona's attention these days. Thursday Review are discussion about things that books that Mona has read or maybe are on her TBR list. And then Friday Chats is an discussion of whatever Mona wants to talk about. So we are going to move through those bits and pieces. And if you are watching and would like to leave us questions or comments, feel free to do so. Mona and I will peek in afterwards to see what everybody's thoughts on things are. And I think in our pre-chat, we talked about Mona maybe sharing some of her music links, so you'll be able to watch for those later as well. So let's get started. Words and Music Monday. So I know that you mentioned having a playlist for each of the books that you have written. So how did you build your playlist? What makes it onto those playlists for your different stories?
So, honestly, I do a lot of my like thinking when I'm on a longer drive or even just driving around or running errands, and I will set like a random playlist off of Spotify or whatever. And I generally put like love songs and I just have them on. And I'll think about my book, and a lot of times, sometimes it's not like the whole song, but it might be like a couple of lines or something from that song that I'm like, ooh, that to me would fit with X, Y, and Z character.
Right.
And so then I will add it to my playlist. And then
Nice.
sometimes it's an actual like whole song, or maybe even just like the feeling that the song conveys.
Mhm.
Um, that type of thing. So that why when I am trying to hit some of those feelings again, if I'm having a hard time, like particularly like if it's like a more romantic scene or an angry scene or something that I'm just having a hard time, I'll play the music. I have literally during like love scenes that I've written, just put that song on like repeat,
On
you know,
repeat. Mhm.
because I know that in the moment that I heard it, I thought of something and I just want to reclaim that so that I can
Right.
I can put it onto the page somehow. Um,
Gotcha.
so sometimes, and one of the songs that I'll put up tomorrow, if today or tomorrow, whenever,
Mhm.
um, makes it to more than one playlist. And it's not because the people are the same, but maybe that theme spoke to them, or maybe there
Mhm.
was like a different sentence or a different line in that song
Right.
that spoke to this couple, that type of thing. But most of them, and some playlists are longer than others, but
Mhm.
basically it's kind of like an inspiration thing. And
Gotcha.
once it makes the playlist and then the book is done, I don't, it's very rare that a song gets knocked off the playlist, unless I change the whole story and all the
Right.
people. Because it's generally there for some purpose.
Gotcha.
So
Do you
that's
have any favorites that you find ending up, any favorite artists that you find ending up on multiple playlists?
I don't necessarily find like any particular artist or whatever, but I do find like the one song that I was going through the playlist before we chatted, and one of the songs, it's called Hopeless Romantics. It's a surprise. It ends up in a lot of playlists. But I
I
think,
can't imagine why.
can't imagine why. But so I do have certain songs that might end up on multiple, but it's not
Gotcha.
necessarily like, and it's not that I don't like certain, it's just literally the song has to somehow speak to me
Right.
about those people.
Yeah, that makes sense. So
So
you mentioned that you might have something queued up to share. What have you got queued up to share?
So I have here, so this book is it's a road trip and it's through Ireland. And
Mm-hmm.
so when I was um trying to, get feelings and all this, I
Mm-hmm.
pull up Irish artists because I was like, let's
Gotcha.
listen. So Cian Ducrot came up and I really liked this song. I think it might be his most popular. I don't really know. Um it's called I'll Be Waiting. Let's see if I can.
Okay. What before you hit the play button, you pointed and you said this book, but just in case somebody can't see,
Oh,
what is that book?
sorry. This is Road Trip Rivalry, and it
Okay.
is my next release in August. It is the 75th anniversary celebration edition of special edition for Harlequin. It also
Nice.
has my first Christmas novella is in it at the back.
Very
So
cute.
this book is available two ways, and I can pull up the other book. It's also available in a two-in-one with Brenda Novak. Um,
Nice.
her book Tying the Knot is coming out, and this book is in the back of it. So when you buy
Okay.
that book, you get both. You get two for one, or you can buy this and get my novella in the back. So either way,
I
and
like
it's
that version.
so yeah, either way. But yeah, so that's kind of how it is, and it's basically, as you can see, it's a road trip. Um, we can talk more about it later, but it's
Yeah.
rivals, lovers, and things, and so. But it
Very
does.
cool.
We took a trip to Ireland a couple years ago, and I didn't expect to love it so much, and I did. I loved it. So
Hmm.
all my notes from the trip, and I was like, I must write a book. I must write a book. And so basically, their trip was our trip for the most part. I
Nice.
mean, I did make some stuff up, but yeah.
Very nice. That's my number one bucket list place to travel to. One of these
Really?
days. Yeah.
Oh,
One of these
oh.
days.
Well, get in touch with me before you go because it was super
Okay.
fun.
I will
Yeah,
do that. All right. You got your song ready to go?
I think so. I'm starting it
Okay.
kind of in the middle, but
That's
his
fine.
voice, and his voice is so nice. Here, play.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to hear it.
You might not.
I, I heard it for a second. Yeah, it's coming in and out. I can hear his voice a little bit. His voice is very soothing.
I'll put it in the link. I'll
Yes.
put it in
Yeah,
the thing
put
tomorrow.
the link in. Yeah. I could hear his voice a little bit. It was definitely soothing.
Yeah.
It was very, very kind of um
Yeah.
not monotone, but very even kind of velvety.
Mm-hmm. And he's like building to a crescendo. And it's funny, I put my phone up to the thing and my computer's like, set up professional audio and audio settings. So maybe that's maybe that's what I need to do. Not right this minute, but at some point, that's what I
At
need
some
to do.
point.
Yeah.
Well, you can absolutely leave us links in the comments and we will be happy to listen. I especially will be happy to listen to that.
Awesome.
Um, when the time comes. And do you share the playlist, the links for your playlist? Do you put those out for people?
I mean, I haven't yet, but I just don't know really where to put them. And to be quite honest, I wasn't sure how interested people were, but in talking to you, it sounds like maybe I could. Um,
Absolutely.
so I can put the other songs, I can put this whole playlist
Yeah,
in
that'd be great.
comments for this particular book, and then I can add in a couple of other songs that I have in other for other books and things if you're
That
interested. Yeah.
that would be fantastic.
Okay.
I can tell you from personal experience, not only do I really enjoy playlists and soundtracks for books, but there are quite a few people who do. That's why it's one of the features on our blog, and I have seen many authors put out their playlists, and I always get a kick out of it, and a lot of other people do. So we definitely are interested.
Absolutely, then I will definitely post up there.
Fantastic. Okay, so let's move to 10 Thing Tuesday. So you have a list of 10 things. I do not know what
Yes.
is on this list of 10 things, so we will learn together.
Mhm.
What have you put together for us?
I just did 10 things about that people that you may not know about me.
Okay,
Um,
I like
so,
it.
um, yeah. So they're in no particular order whatsoever.
Okay.
I just wrote down 10 things. I just brainstormed and wrote down 10 things. So you tell me if you want me to just list them.
Yeah, start
Okay.
start wherever you want to start.
Okay. We'll start here. So the simplest thing, my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip. And I say this because I had just been out getting ice cream and people were asking me, like, what do you do? And I was like, listen, I look at all the other flavors, I think about them. I will just get the mint chocolate chip. Like, and it I know it drives some people crazy, but that's what I want. I will also go for a mocha chocolate chip if it's available. And if both are available, I have a hard time. And I will
Ah,
taste. And if you can taste other ice creams, I will taste the other ones, thinking that I'm going to get something else, and I never do. I always chip. So that's
so
one.
you like what you like, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Apparently, I like what I like. So, and that's what it is. Um,
Okay.
and along the food lines, my favorite meal is pizza, chips, and white wine.
Interesting.
Like that's like my comfort food meal. Like if I'm by myself or not by myself, that is one of my favorite things to like just have a nice glass of white wine, have a have a pizza. And the potato chips idea came from it's funny because it came from these friends of my parents that my parents made when they first immigrated to this country. My dad met the man at work, and on the same day my mom met his wife at the grocery
Oh my
store.
gosh, that's hilarious.
And then they came home and they're like, oh my God, I just met this person, blah 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 today. And they're like, so did we. Let's have found out they were married to each other.
That's
So
amazing.
I mean, and that couple, their children are so on, but they have since passed. But they're the ones who were like, no, you eat potato chips with pizza. And this is what I grew up with. And I didn't know it was weird until I went to college and people are like, you do what? I'm like, I thought everybody did this,
Like
but
on the pizza or just like with the pizza?
like pizza on the side, like with
Okay.
it. Yeah. And
Okay.
so I didn't know it
So
was
that's your vegetable. Like so pizza is your entree and then
weird.
the potato chips is your
Yeah.
vegetable.
I mean, as I got older now, I will throw something green in there, like a salad, you know, but the chips are still on the plate. I may
Gotcha.
not eat potato chips like in the rest of my life, but when there's pizza, like there is no compromise.
Okay,
Um,
so I have a question. What for everybody who's watching, I want everyone to put in the comments what they like on their pizza. And then Mona, in the comments, you can put what you like on your pizza.
okay.
Okay, so that's everybody's homework. All right, what's
Okay.
your next thing?
Um, my next thing is I met my husband when I dated his best friend and took him to my senior prom.
Well, that's one way to do it.
I mean, we were so young. We were 17, and I
Yeah.
had this guy, and we ended up going to prom together. And that is how I met my prom date's best friend is my
Hmm.
husband. Everybody's all
Gotcha.
friends now. Everybody stayed friends. And I didn't, it was one of these things like we were together for like a month or two, and then my husband and I stayed friends, and I went away to college,
Hmm.
and I came back, and then it was like a year or two later that we started dating. But
Gotcha.
that's how I met him, and my husband and I became best friends from that and moving forward. So everybody is still friends today. I mean, this is
Nice.
like it's literally 40 years ago. So
Yeah.
I think we're
Very
good.
cool.
It makes for a cute little story.
It does.
Um, okay. I mentioned earlier, I am the oldest daughter of immigrants, which
Hmm.
is a thing, oldest daughter immigrant. That's a whole set of things in and of itself. So I am one of those. I have wanted to be an author since I was 9 years old, and I
Wow.
won the Young Authors Contest at school. And I was like, oh, maybe I do know how to do something.
That's cool.
Um, I have run triathlons in the past.
Wow.
So sprint, and I did mostly sprints. It was under it was called Iron Girl.
Hmm.
And I also did an international level one as well.
Wow.
And
That's
apparently
cool.
all of my friends are like, if you've done an international or Olympic, you only have to do it one time and you can talk about it for the rest of your life. I'm like, but I did run them for about 7 or 8 years in my 40s, so that was fun.
Wow.
Um, Along similar lines, I climbed a mountain. So my husband did Machu Picchu and Kilimanjaro. And
Wow.
I think when he was training for Kilimanjaro, him and his buddies were gonna go climb Pikes Peak in Colorado. And he's like, "Why don't you come?" And I was like, "Because I don't want to climb a mountain." And then I was like, "But why don't I? I've never done it, you know?" So, and it was a thing. It was a definite thing. I don't camp.
I guess.
And so we had to stay overnight, but it was in like a little cabin or whatever. And like altitude is a thing and the whole thing, it was a thing. So, but I did climb it. So you climb all the way to the top of
Wow.
Pikes Peak, and then there's like a train that brings you down or whatever. Um, so again, I feel like that's another one of those things that I only have to do one time, and
Yes,
then
absolutely.
I don't need to do it again. So at this point in time, I have no desire to climb another mountain, but people change. I
Yeah,
don't mind. Fine.
that is true.
Yes. Uh, I learned how to swim when I was 39 years old so that I could do the triathlons. I didn't know how to swim when I decided to do one. And my husband, I said, "Hey, I'm gonna do this Iron Girl triathlon." And he's like, "You don't know how to swim." And I'm like, "I know, but I think I'll figure it out." And he's like, "Okay, let's teach you how to swim."
There you go. And for just for people who may not be familiar, triathlon is running and swimming and what other sport?
Hiking. So you swim you oh my God, I'm gonna fit you swim first. So you swim.
Hmm.
So the sprint one is like you swim about a half mile in a well, here it was a lake. And
Hmm.
then the bike was about 17 miles of biking.
Wow.
And then you run a 5K.
Good night. That is crazy pants. I mean,
And
yay for you, but there will be none of that for Jennifer.
I mean, it was fun, and I kind of did it to like celebrate my 40th and
Good.
that thing, and I really liked it, and so I stuck with it for a little while, for a few years, and then
Hmm.
I had like friends, and you can do it like as a relay. So if somebody doesn't want to do all three, you can get three people
Right.
together, and each one does a thing. So we did that for a long time, and
Hmm.
um, so yeah, no, it was fun, and then when it stopped being fun, I just stopped.
There you go. That's what you do with when you pick up a hobby or a skill or something like that, unless it's what you need to feed your family with. If it's
Yeah,
not making you happy, then don't do it.
right. But I do have that skill of swimming now, which I didn't have before.
That's
So,
fabulous.
I retained that. Um, I think I have a couple, all right, two more things. One, my daughter, myself, my mom, and my grandmother were each born on different continents.
Wow, that's cool. That's really cool.
Isn't that funny? So my grandmother was born in India.
Hmm.
My mom was born in Africa, and
Okay.
I was born in the United States. And my daughter was born in Germany because my husband was serving and we were living overseas. And so she was
Wow.
born in Heidelberg, Germany on the army base. So each one of us was born in a different continent.
That's
So
really cool. That's really cool.
yeah. So that's kind of a an interesting little thing that nobody really knows.
Yeah, and not many people can claim that. I
Right.
mean, a lot of people could probably do two and maybe
Mhm.
three, but I don't think there's many people that can have four. That's
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah. And
Very
then
nice. Okay, what's last?
last is I was on the Today Show in a homemade cake baking contest.
That's cool. That's
So I
all
in
kinds of cool stuff about you.
I used to bake all my kids' cakes and all my friends' cakes. It was my creative outlet,
Hmm.
10, 12 years ago. And I was not working for some reason, and I was home one day, and the Today Show announced a contest. One of the anchors at that time was turning 40, and they said we're going to do homemade bakers, homemade at home bakers only, so amateurs
Hmm.
only, no like professional bakeries.
Right.
Um, all you have to do was send in a picture of your cake and their recipe. And I had pictures of all my cakes, so I picked the one I wanted. I
Hmm.
sent it the recipe, and then I forgot about it. And I was like,
Hmm.
whatever. I did it, just on a
Yeah.
whim. And like one of the interns called me a couple weeks later and was like, yeah, we would love to have you as a finalist on the show. So it was me and
That's
two other
so cool.
women. And the other two women and I are still friends on Facebook. So,
Fun.
and Martha Stewart came up and was our surprise judge. And they do it. The funniest part was they do your hair and makeup.
Oh my
So you
gosh.
show up and then you kind of get treated like a little bit of like a TV star. So you get your hair and makeup
That's
done
fun.
15 minutes, and we got to cook in their kitchen the night before. So you had to bring your cake and then you decorate it in their kitchen. So we all hung
Hmm.
out together and it was cool. And we were on
That's
TV.
really fun. That's really cool. What a nice experience.
Yeah, it was fun. It's definitely see, and it's something to put on a list when someone's like, tell me
There you
something.
go.
There you go.
So
Now
now
you
do you watch like the baking shows and like watch the people who make the cakes and be like, I can do that and I can do that and you should do better
I
this
have
way or
watched them. I used to watch them all the time and like learn techniques and oh, let me try
hmm.
that. What about this? And I still do like to watch them. Haven't watched them in a while because they do make me hungry. So I do watch them and I do remember watching where they would make these beautiful creations and then they'd
Hmm.
have to move them and I would be literally on the edge of my seat. I'm like, Dev, you have no idea. And he's like, I have every idea of how hard it is to move it. I've tried to move yours with you you know, both be like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So yeah, absolutely. Yep.
That's fun. That's fun. Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing those. Those were fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so and everybody needs to remember to put their pizza, their preferred pizza topping in the comment. And then
Okay.
um Mona will share her preferred pizza toppings in the comments too as well. All
Okay.
right, so moving on to the next part of our chat, Worldwide Wednesday. So, what online goodies are attracting your attention these days? What do you get wrapped up in online?
So I have a rescue dog and she is part dachshund and part monster. I don't know.
Part
Um,
something.
part something. And she's long and I don't know. My phone figured out that I have a dachshund and
Your
it
phone did this all by itself.
all by itself. You know how it listens, right? It
Yes.
listens,
Yes.
right? And I was probably I've bought things for her online, right? So
Hmm.
that hard to figure out that I have a
Right.
dachshund. And so now my phone shows me all these cute little like dachshund videos. and I like them
Hmm.
all, so I get more. And now I get these ones. There's a thing called a mini dachshund, and it's only gets this big, but it looks
That
like a
is
leash
amazing.
dog, but it's only this big.
That's
I
amazing.
put it in my purse, right? Which my family doesn't think it's a real dog if it's a purse dog, and I'm like, but it's a dachshund, it can play. Anyway,
Yes.
Nala is small. I mean, she's only 20 some pounds, and she's got the little short legs, and she has a lot of dachshund qualities. I didn't realize how many until I started watching these videos, but I do, and I send them to my husband, and I send them to my children.
Hmm. Which I'm
This,
sure they all appreciate.
well, they should. So, because they're really cute. They're really, really cute. So that is one of the things that that I doom scroll. That and like
Hmm.
obvious bookish things and Bridgerton and all
Right.
that. But
Right.
books and
Well,
stuff.
everybody needs a little sweet, fun puppy video in their day. I think
Yeah,
that should be a requirement.
I agree. I agree.
Yes. Makes us smile. Okay. I'll have to watch. You'll have to put some of those on your public Facebook so we can see some of your smiley puppy videos.
Sure.
Okay, so next part, Thursday reviews. So, what books have you read lately? What are you reading now? What's next on your TBR? What's your favorite of all time? Tell us about books.
So, like many, many, many people, I just got done. I have been in the romanticy phase. My daughter got me
Mm,
started on guitar, and so I read all of Sarah J. Maas. Then I went to
gotcha.
fourth, and then after fourth wing, I did Iron Flame. So I just finished Iron Flame
Hmm.
as they revealed the cover for the next book coming out. It doesn't come out till January.
Right.
And so I love it because my daughter lives across the country from me. So as I read books, like we text each other madly. And then she waits
Hmm.
to finish, and then she sends me all the reels of like all
Oh,
the
gotcha.
theories. And then we talk all the theories. So that one is done for the time being. And now she and I, and actually my son, who is not a big reader, but we got him into
Okay.
reading. He wanted to read The Institute by Stephen King. So I
Okay.
was like, if that boy wants to read The Institute by Stephen King, I will read it. But my daughter was reading it with him, and she's like, "Do you want to join?" And I got my husband into it too. So
Oh, wow, that's
currently
fun.
reading. We're all currently reading. I think my daughter's husband is reading it too. So we're
Wow.
all currently reading The Institute by Stephen King, which is not
Hmm.
my typical read, but wanted to be a supportive mom, and I
Right.
love to eat, so I was like, I should read out of my comfort zone as well. So
Hmm.
that is what I'm currently reading. In between all of that, I started picking up thrillers, which is also outside my comfort zone because my niece recommended like a Nalini Singh one called There Should Have Been Eight.
Uh-huh.
Fantastic. And then she recommended, I had to write it down. Hold on. Lucy Foley, The Guest List.
Okay.
Very good. I thought I would be too scared to read these thrillers. They're not that bad. They're
Yeah.
good. They're good. They don't freak me out. Like they don't give me nightmares. I mean, I don't get the best
Well, that's
dreams.
good.
It's not yeah, it's not like a horror, which I still am a little I used to read horror when I was a teenager, and then I stopped for a long time. But I'm really enjoying the thrillers, and I think part of it is because I do have a thriller in my head or two that I would like to
Ah,
write. Um,
that'll be fun.
yeah, and then the other one I have on my TBR that I keep trying to get to, but now I'm reading the Stephen King book is The Rose Code. I think it's called The Rose Code by um oh God, Quinn, but not obviously not Julia Quinn, Kate Quinn. Kate Quinn. And
Very
it's
cool.
She had written, I believe, the Alice Network. And she writes these stories about these women spies, and I find
Ooh.
them amazing. Like the Alice Network was one of my all-time favorites. Um, so I also love one of my all-time US favorites. One of my all-time
Mhm.
favorites is the Earnesty Literary and Potato
The
Peel.
Guernsey Literary Potato Peel Society. Yeah.
Love it.
That's on my TBR, has been on my TBR for so many years. And for some reason, I never think of it when I'm looking for a book. When I have 15 books to read, it's always like somebody's talking about it. But when I'm like, okay, nothing that I have is what my mood is right now. What do I want to
Yeah.
find? It never comes up at that point, and I always forget about it. But it's been
So
on my TBR. Work at Books a Million, and it's been on my TBR since then, and that was like 10 years ago.
yeah, I mean, I probably read it 10 years ago. I love it. I read it a couple of times. It's told in letters, and I want to read it again because I it's another thing I would like to write one day. I don't know about what, not know how, but I would like to write something in letters,
Yeah.
you know.
I think
Um,
it's fantastic. It's so,
yeah,
such a fun way to tell a story.
yeah. So I know that most of the books I said here are not necessarily romance. I guess
That's fine.
romantic is romance. Um, but I do read romance. I just haven't gotten to it lately.
That's fine.
And I've actually enjoyed kind of expanding a little bit and reading like
Hmm.
things and actually bringing reading back into my life. I think for a while there as a writer, I was like, oh my God, I don't have time or what I don't want to like lose my train of thought and read another romance or
Hmm.
something. And I had a small hiatus where I just needed to kill some time. And my daughter was like, hey, try
Hmm.
this Court of Thorn and Roses book. And I
Yeah.
was like, okay. So I did, and boom. But anyway, in any case, I just make time. I make time to
Right.
read.
Well, you've got
Uh,
to refill the well.
you do.
You've got to get
Yes.
back in the juices. So,
A
yeah.
hundred, a
And the
hundred
nice thing
percent.
about Coastal Magic is that we have readers that, I mean, obviously we have romance readers. I mean, of course, but we have readers that read across so many genres that, I mean, it doesn't have to be a romance book for it to be something that people are interested in. So I have a feeling there will be a lot of people checking out the things that you've recommended. So that'll be fun. I'm curious if anybody else, especially the Guernsey one. I like I said, I've had that on my to be read list for so long. Um, maybe this will motivate me to get it read.
There you go.
Okay, so moving on from reviews of other people's books to the Friday chat section of our chat today, where you get to talk about whatever you like. Your books or whatever else is going on in your world, what direction are we going in? What's happening in Mona Shroff in the Mona Shroffiverse right
Oh my
now?
God. What's happening in the Mona Shroff is taking a little bit of time. The wedding was last year. That was like all encompassing
Mhm.
type of thing. And at the same time, like my in-laws moved in and so there was a lot of stuff going, but now we're kind of in like a rhythm.
Cool.
Everyone's good. Um, this book I turned in early because of the wedding last year.
Mhm.
And it's coming out next month, and I am really, really excited about it. It is a professional rivals to lovers on a road trip with kind of an ornery grandmother type of thing.
I love
And
that.
the novella in the back is a marriage in trouble, where they get snowed in
Gotcha.
together. So that is actually a Christmas novella, and I kind of it's my first novella and also my first Christmas story. So I was like, let's just put it all together. I kind of always wanted to write a little bit of a Christmas novella, so this was a perfect opportunity.
There you go. Checking off some boxes.
Yeah, so I'm currently working on my next special edition. So you can see the other poster I have over here
Yeah.
is my release in December. It's called Their Accidental Honeymoon.
Okay.
And that is a groom who was left behind. So a bride that had another book that was a runaway bride story. And then this is
Hmm.
was left behind. It's the best friends to lovers, fake engagement type of a deal. And in this story, I introduced the best friend is the youngest of three sisters, and the oldest sister's a single mom. So that one I finished in March,
Gotcha.
and that's coming out hopefully soon. And
Hmm.
then I'm currently working on the next one in that series. I also have potentially right now on submission my first I guess, women's fiction or mainstream with a romantic element
Cool.
I'm working on. So I've done about a third to 40% of that. I'm still working on in between projects, working on finishing
Right.
that to kind of expand things a little bit. I
Cool.
love romance, but I'd like to write a little bit of that. And then I have
Yeah.
notes for a thriller um to write one day. I think I wrote a thriller like years and years and years ago. I wrote like a short story for some contest, when I was pre-published and I was just trying to work those skills a little bit,
Right.
see what I had. And I think my son read that one and he was like, "Do you really want to write romance, Mom? Because I really like this thriller." And I was like, "Okay." And I saved it and I have it and it's got the bones of something
Hmm.
or
Well, that's
something.
a nice affirmation for your son who is not really too much into reading. If he really enjoyed it, that's
He
cool.
did. He did. And to be fair, he does try to read my books. It's hard for him because he keeps hearing my voice. And like so all the
Mm,
romantic stuff is not really
right.
working for him. Um,
Hmm.
but my son-in-law reads all my books too, which is kind of
Nice. It's cool.
um yeah, so it's
So,
cool.
so outside of your desk area where you write, or reading with your family, what kind of things do you do when you are taking a break from the wording world?
Oh, well, if I'm not reading, I mean, we do like the outdoors. It's really hot right now. But we do like to take the dog and go on like short hikes and things. Um, Actually, this year we ended up traveling quite a bit, kind of almost
Oh,
not planned, but by accident. My husband always has a meeting in May, and we went to Toronto, and then my kids and their cousins were going to Ireland, so we joined them for a little bit.
mhm.
We have a wedding, a friend's wedding next week, which we're really
Oh,
excited about.
fun.
Um, and my son
Travel's
lives,
good.
yeah, my son lives in Minneapolis. So again, he lives across the country too. So we went and visited him a few weeks ago, to see his new place and,
Oh,
I haven't
cool.
children in a little while. So, yeah, so we've been traveling and, um, I don't know what else. I guess just, trying to,
A lot of work.
yeah,
A
it's
lot
just
of work. All of the projects in the works. I'm amazed that you managed to travel as much as you have.
my computer
So,
can go.
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. That's portable.
And I actually do really good. I do some of my best writing on an airplane because I can't get internet. I can't get anything. So as long as I don't open my
Gotcha.
Kindle first,
Yeah.
open the
Hmm.
Kindle first, open the computer first, and then I can get a lot of work done. So I do get quite a bit accomplished that way. Um, so yeah, and then my in-laws are here and they're very sweet, so we're trying to, we take them out and do that kind of thing too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quality family time.
Sure.
Very
Sure.
nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's wrap up. If people would like to find out more about you and your books, and get in touch with you online or social media, whatever, what is the best way for them to find out more information or reach out to you if they want to do
So I'm mostly active on Instagram, and
that?
that's
Hmm.
at Mona Author. It's linked to my Mona Shroff Author Facebook page. If anybody's still on that. I don't do a lot on TikTok. It was one of those things where I gave myself grace. I was trying, and then I was spending
Mm,
a lot of time, and it would take me 30 minutes to like do and like
right,
edit and everything. And it was just taking, and I was like, I could have been writing all this time.
right.
So I sort of I still have a TikTok. I still go there. I might if I do
Hmm.
a reel, I might post it to TikTok, but really Instagram is the best place. You can DM
Hmm.
me.
Cool.
Whenever I get new books, whenever I get my author copies, I do an unboxing and
How
I
fun.
take DMs for anybody who wants ARCs at that point in time. Uh
Nice.
yeah. So
Cool. Okay, and website is monashroffauthor.com.
MonaDSchroff.com. Yep.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. All right. Well, I think that is pretty much going to wrap up our week through the blog chat, um, with all kinds of fun information for people to get to know you a little better. So I appreciate you taking time to do that. It was very nice to chat with you. for those of you who are watching that are familiar with Coastal Magic and are already registered to attend, we will get to talk more with Mona throughout the probably summer and fall, and then, of course, in Daytona. If you are not familiar with Coastal Magic, you can go to coastalmagicconvention.com and find out all about the convention. There's a featured author page with all of the other featured authors who will be joining Mona with us in Daytona, and all kinds of fun things that you can do. We have a reading challenge you can participate in. We do chats monthly. We have a newsletter with all kinds of fun things and contests and spotlights and lots of ways to get to know our featured authors. So definitely get involved, and we hope that we will see you in Daytona in February. Thank you, Mona, very much. It was so nice to chat with you, and we will catch you again soon. Have a good
Yeah,
rest of your
thanks
day.
so much. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.